Nike struck absolute gold when they signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal. So why in the world are they ignoring her?
A women's basketball player. She deserves it. She deserves it.
That got her on a bargain basement deal and is telling her, well, we're going to wait to promote you until we're done promoting A'ja Wilson.
We have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes.
Nike apologized to Caitlin Clark for not launching her shoes. Nike made a massive mistake by sidelining one of the greatest young athletes of our time, Caitlin Clark.
She's focusing on the game. She lifted her team up, got them to the playoffs, won Rookie of the Year.
Despite her record-shattering performances and bringing massive attention to the WNBA, Nike focused on promoting their golden girl, A'ja Wilson.
He reports Nike wants to prioritize A'ja Wilson, and it fears the optics of giving a rookie a signature shoe before an already established star who just won league MVP for the 3rd time.
Leaving Caitlin Clark in the shadows. But after months of backlash and criticism, they finally admitted their blunder. Caitlin Clark was signed to an insane 8-year, $28 million deal, yet not a single signature shoe, while A'ja and her followers, like Angel Reese, reaped all the rewards.
You know what the contract is?
I want to say it's $3 million a year for 8 to 10 years. It's almost $30 million, something like that.
Nike's focus was clear, and it wasn't on the true rising star. But now, after pressure and the looming interest from Adidas, Nike is scrambling to make things right.
And the fact that Nike did not capitalize on that, the fact that they are the biggest athletic sportswear brand.
Nike's mistreatment of Caitlin Clark is shocking, especially considering her incredible dominance on the court. Despite her record-breaking performances and undeniable talent, Nike has continuously sidelined her.
But we all realize that Caitlin Clark single-handedly is responsible for the WNBA mattering,
failing to give her the signature shoe or the recognition she deserves.
We have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes.
Instead, the spotlight has been unfairly placed on others like A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese, players who haven't matched Caitlin's impact yet enjoy far more brand support and attention.
Women should just shut up and dribble in the WNBA. The more they talk, the dumber they are. We get dumber when they speak. We get dumber when their media speak.
Caitlin's stats speak for themselves, consistently outplaying her competition and proving that she is the future of basketball. But Nike, for reasons that baffle her fans, has chosen to focus on pushing Wilson and Reese, who often stir up drama instead of delivering the same level of excellence Caitlin brings. This blatant favoritism has left Clark supporters frustrated.
Angel Reese is undermining the league with her unlikability,
feeling as if Nike is deliberately downplaying her stardom. The imbalance is impossible to ignore.
The reason why people are jumping on board and everyone's is they finally found a player who's halfway likable in Caitlin Clark.
Nike's decision to overlook Caitlin isn't just an oversight. It feels like a deliberate insult to one of the most talented athletes of her generation. Fans are left wondering why a brand built on championing greatness would choose to ignore such a dominant force in the game.
I did not think it was possible that one player could come in and basically quadruple the ratings.
Nike's obsession with promoting A'ja Wilson over Caitlin Clark only adds fuel to the fire. A'ja, while talented, hasn't displayed the same level of performance or consistency as Caitlin, yet Nike continues to push her as the face of women's basketball.
A'ja Wilson's pretty unlikable.
This not only feels like an insult to Clark, but to her loyal fan base, who have witnessed time and time again how Caitlin outshines her competition.
I think Caitlin Clark is doing the right thing, rising above all of the crap that she's had to endure. The amount of fouls committed on Caitlin Clark higher than any other player, flagrant fouls committed on Caitlin Clark higher than any other player. Caitlin Clark was worried about playing the game, and that is why she got Rookie of the Year. She was not worried about the BS.
It's clear that A'ja Wilson's persona aligns more with Nike's marketing strategy, focusing on her off-court personality and appeal rather than what happens between the lines.
A lot of players got the spotlight this season because of Caitlin Clark, not to mention just overall Caitlin Clark brought millions, literally, more eyeballs to the league this season.
On the other hand, Caitlin's focus has always been on her game, her relentless work ethic, her leadership, and her unmatched ability to dominate on the court.
The ratings were phenomenal because of Caitlin Clark. She didn't want to take credit for all of those ratings, but we all realize that Caitlin Clark single-handedly is responsible for the WNBA mattering.
By choosing to sideline Caitlin, Nike seems more interested in personalities and narratives rather than celebrating pure, undeniable talent.
She was incredible, breaking all types of records, and that's something she was certainly proud of. We saw lots of smiles on the court.
And then there's Angel Reese, a player whose rivalry with Caitlin Clark has garnered plenty of attention. Instead of promoting this exciting narrative, Nike has chosen to downplay Clark's role in these battles.
Angel Reese went live on Instagram from the Victoria's Secret fashion show. Now, I'm assuming that Angel Reese was not one of the models in the show because she constantly complains about lonely men on social media sexualizing her,
consistently elevating Reese and Wilson. It's a frustrating choice, especially when Caitlin's performances speak louder than words, yet Nike remains silent on giving her the platform she deserves.
These leftists are idiots. Idiots. They're not about business. They're not about growing the WNBA. They're about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is insanity, what they're doing to Caitlin Clark. It's bad business, it's short-sighted.
While Nike seems to overlook Caitlin Clark, another giant in the sportswear industry, Adidas, has taken notice.
Listen, if people want to portray and paint the narrative that there are racial tensions in the WNBA as a result of Caitlin Clark, I would say that's their own problem.
Caitlin's impressive skills and ability to connect with fans present a golden opportunity for any brand willing to recognize her talent.
All the African-American lesbians that have been so racist to Caitlin Clark. What if Caitlin Clark just wanted to play? What if at 22 years old trying to make her way into basketball, but that ain't good enough for Roz Gold Owande because she's an idiot?
Adidas is already capitalizing on Caitlin's popularity, signaling a potential shift in the sponsorship landscape.
This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie, targeted by society, targeted by her looks, targeted by her reputation, targeted by the disrespect that they've shown to the WNBA. She said, no, they're expecting this rookie class to be perfect. This rookie class isn't even one of the best rookie classes in the last 10 years.
This could be the turning point for Clark, allowing her to shine in the spotlight she rightfully deserves. The fact that Adidas is interested in Caitlin speaks volumes about her impact in the world of women's basketball.
Is Caitlin Clark currently the face of the WNBA? Yes. Do I think if A'ja Wilson dropped a shoe and Caitlin Clark dropped a shoe today at the very same time, that Caitlin Clark would outsell A'ja's shoe by 100 times?
This interest not only provides her with a potential endorsement deal, but also signifies a shift in how athletes are marketed in sports. While Nike may continue to promote personalities like A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese,
she's really looking out for everybody else, and it's so sad that there are so many people that continue to turn a blind eye to that, knowing how selfless she is, and they still want to say Caitlin Clark, you know, she's not the reason, let's give other players their flowers. No, Caitlin Clark is the reason.
Adidas is ready to back a player who represents raw talent and hard work. This could ultimately redefine the standards for women athletes.
The ratings were phenomenal because of Caitlin Clark. She didn't want to take credit for all of those ratings, but we all realize that Caitlin Clark single-handedly is responsible for the WNBA mattering.
Shifting the narrative back to those who let their skills do the talking.
If she would not have joined the WNBA, these numbers would not be the way that they are with or without her, right? So it's not about Caitlin Clark not being in the finals or being in the finals. It's the fact that Caitlin Clark is in the league that is allowing other teams to still have these pretty decent ratings in the finals.
Caitlin's gameplay has captivated audiences, drawing in fans who appreciate her passion and commitment, unlike A'ja and Angel, who seem to rely heavily on their personalities and off-court drama.
Caitlin Clark has created more buzz around the basketball landscape and has actually transformed and revived a league that was the WNBA, and she is getting paid a measly $28 million.
Caitlin stands out for her extraordinary achievements on the court. By focusing on her performance, Adidas could leverage Caitlin's story to inspire a new generation of athletes who value skill over sensationalism.
Somebody coming along and elevating the sport shine ultimately benefits you. Go out there, compete with her, try to bust her up if you want to, and all of that stuff. Just don't hate on the acclaim that she's getting.
The brand's willingness to align with Caitlyn is a recognition of the hard work and dedication that true champions exhibit. As the landscape of women's sports continues to evolve, it's crucial to support athletes like Caitlyn Clark who embody excellence. The competition between brands for the best athletes could push them to rethink their strategies and focus more on what truly matters, the sport itself.
Two of the premier teams in the league drew an audience of 929,000, according to ESPN. The numbers were nowhere near what they were with Caitlyn Clark. That is 50% less. So it's not about Caitlyn Clark not being in the finals or being in the finals. It's the fact that Caitlyn Clark is in the league that is allowing other teams to still have these pretty decent ratings in the finals.
By embracing Caitlyn and her talent, Adidas sets a precedent that talent should always be prioritized over mere hype. This creates an environment where athletes like Caitlyn can flourish, proving that hard work, dedication, and skill will always rise to the top.
Caitlyn Clark should be getting so much more credit, but unfortunately there are still haters who are trying to bring her down.
But they don't want it to grow if it's certain people at the face. And there is still this undertone of jealousy that for some reason I cannot get around calling it anything else but that, because I don't know what else it could be. I thought it was going to get better this season, but it hasn't. There are still people who seemingly, to me, feel like they just don't want Caitlyn to be a part of it.
Caitlyn Clark is not just a player. She's a phenomenon whose talent transcends the court. While Nike may have missed the mark in recognizing her, the tide is turning as Adidas steps up to the plate. This shift not only highlights Caitlyn's potential, but also challenges the status quo in sports marketing, reminding everyone that true talent should be celebrated over drama and rivalry. As fans, we must rally behind Caitlyn and support brands that recognize the value of hard work and dedication.
There are still people who seemingly feel like they just don't want Caitlyn to be a part of it. Because with Caitlyn comes millions and millions and millions of more eyeballs. And with those millions and millions and millions of more eyeballs, unfortunately, is going to come some people who are not nice.
The narrative of women in sports is changing, and Caitlyn Clark is leading the charge. With the right support, she can inspire countless young athletes to chase their dreams and prioritize their skills.
Now these complaints are coming from the star that the media claims is the face of the WNBA. But that does not change the fact that the dump is still losing money.
Let's hope that this serves as a wake-up call for brands like Nike to reconsider their choices and embrace the real heroes of women's sports. In a world where figures like A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese continue to dominate headlines for all the wrong reasons, Caitlyn stands tall as a beacon of hope and excellence. As we look ahead, let's continue to cheer for Caitlyn Clark and the legacy she's building, one that celebrates true talent and sportsmanship. The future is bright, and it's time for Caitlyn to take center stage.